Yo, what's up, y'all? We're back for one last chakra logic video, as far as I can tell. But wanted to do a quick recap over the 7 chakras and touch on whatever things I may have missed, as well as kind of give y'all a small, little extra nugget as far as how to move up the 7 chakras and kind of, get into the space where the Kundalini can start to do its thing. Really quick, just wanted to give a shout out to everybody who's been watching the videos, especially for everybody who's liked and subscribed, but more so to everybody who's been watching these lessons and then, trying to apply it in their life and looking to heal, putting the work in and healing themselves and growing themselves and expanding themselves. So shout out to y'all, shout out to every single person that's been out here really trying to self-improve this year. 2024 is a different kind of year. I know y'all feel it. Anyway, so we'll start with the root. We'll work our way up, but we're gonna go through them pretty quickly, as most of y'all already know this. So yeah, the root is what connects us to here, right? It is your base, it is your foundation. Just like the birds that fly high up in the sky, they need a nest, in order for them to fly. The snakes need their dens, the bears need their dens. We need a place to call home. We need a base, right? So that's not only physical, but that's also in a lot of ways in our relationships, at our jobs, and so forth, right? And just your living situations, your emotions too. You need to have a base, right? So in a like a place you can call your comfort zone, kind of, so having that imbalance, not having a solid base, having a solid foundation, having a solid connection with your environment is the first thing that you need. It's pretty simple, if your life's not in a threatening situation and so forth, it shouldn't be too crazy to understand the root. But it's also good to build out good routines. And if you got things that are out of balance, you also have to understand how to uproot too. You got to uproot things and make room for new things to root. So you got to do both, tend to the garden. So having that balance and understanding those two will get you out of that chakra into your sacral chakra, which is what we mentioned before. It's your connection between your body and the world body and other human bodies. And it's the connection between you and the multiplicity. It's the connection between you and the duality. And in a good way, It's not like, oh, we're in a duality and everything's wrong. It's not the case. We're in a duality because it's a dance of the one being the two, and finding its way back and understanding and falling in love. And that's what we're doing. This is a really special place to be. Earth is, because it's like, these divine energies can actually take form like man and woman and have these passionate beings that they can love each other, they can truly, experience the sensations of, union and everything. So the sacral is what allows us to connect in those ways, right? So what we mentioned before, the key for that is enough is enough, kind of moderation is key, so and also appreciation of the enough, and respecting that enough and making sure that you're making room for that things to be sacred, as opposed to just over consuming everything. And they just mow down everything out here overnight. All this used to be like bushes and pretty tall bushes and stuff, but they mowed it all down. So, how much is enough? So getting to that space where you feel content and you're not out of balance, over consuming or giving too much or taking too much, finding that balance. Then we get to our ego matrix center / your solar plexus chakra, which is your personality. Personality is always changing, forever changing, even multiple times in a day. You'll be different versions of yourself depending on your environment and everything. So, we all have to do that. We all have to play different roles and so forth. But, not getting too caught up in your role or not thinking that your role is all that you are. A lot of people get stuck in thinking that their role is them. I got them in a position of power. So that's how everything needs to see me. That's who I am, or, I was always, you know, a kid that was picked on when I was little. So now that's the role that I'm always going to play because I'm comfortable in that role. You got to be able to expand yourself past just one role, and you also have to be able to let go. Letting go is the key in your third chakra. Being able to let go of your ego, having that ego death. It's really awesome to have ego deaths because you'll get ahead of the game. Like I mentioned before, you know, having every part of your egos, you need to understand, you know, getting triggered, getting into a certain cycle or arc, you know, it's good to get triggered and inspired in a good way and go on an arc in a good way, you know, but, you know, getting caught up in these like little loops and getting too attached to your identity or your personality in that moment. So the key is letting go. Long story short, I just got to double down on that one because a lot of ego, you know, a lot of people get stuck in their ego. So letting go, being able to let go. So next we get to our heart chakra, which is a really special place because I feel like when you get to your heart chakra, it's kind of like a big door opens up a little bit, you know, you kind of get a little bit more of that divine support because you feel that connection and that connectivity with everything once you do balance out your heart chakra. So your heart chakra is your connectivity between everything. It's the connection between opposites. It's how two opposites can work. It's why negative and positive work together, you know, even though negative is supposed to be with the negatives and positive is only supposed to be with the positives, but there's a force that keeps it all together in between. That's your heart force. That's the heartbeat. That's what's keeping you here. That's what makes it all. That's the joy of life, you know? So make sure you're caring to your heart. Make sure you're not forgetting your heart. A lot of people get stuck between these two minds. They get stuck in the lower mind and the higher mind. And the higher mind is the one that's focused on your plans, your schedules, your fears, your thoughts, your future, your past. All of these stuff that you can't actually hold is all up here. And then your lower mind gets caught up in the now. Your lower mind gets caught up in the comfort of the now or indulging yourself and everything I mentioned before with the sacral chakra. So, you know, a lot of people live in these two places where they'll go from wanting to consume and then wanting to be, you know, thinking about tomorrow, and they'll eat and they'll get in their ego and, you know, they'll kind of be doing all of that, but they'll be missing their heart. They'll be missing the heart. And the heart is actually what keeps you happy. It's your joy. It's what makes you feel like, you know, when people do their dream job and they're like, yo, never work a day in your life when you do what you love. So understanding the pain in the world too will give you more gratitude in your heart center. You know, pain is with love. You know, they go hand in hand. Pain connects us just like love connects us. They both connect us. They both do. Pain and love, I'm telling you, understand that pain and love are both positive forces, although pain is, you know, it hurts. Love hurts too though, but that's the pain in it, right? That's like when you see a picture of someone that you've lost before, there's such an overwhelming feeling of love and pain at the same time. It's like, oh, or when you see a picture of a little baby that's already grown up and has already passed that state and you're like, oh man, I miss you. Oh, you kind of have this love and there's a little bit of a pain too, but it's in the same spot, you know? It's in that same spot when you're a little kid and somebody says, oh, you're ugly. Or if you like a girl and she's like, you ugly. And you feel it in your heart and you're like, ow, I feel it in my heart. Why I feel it right in my middle of my chest? What is that? And that's you experiencing that for the first time, you know? So you gotta take care of that. A lot of us, we close ourselves off from the rest of the world because we don't want to be hurt, you know, which is understandable, you know, it's just experience. But also you have to be the one to be able to open that up and care for it. Sometimes it's not really about other people, you know, doing that for you. So the key to the heart is, I would say, like reflection or gratitude really, but understanding the connection between the opposites and understanding that you literally are the same thing as every other person. And that's what the key was for me. Once I started to see that every person was me and that I stopped kind of making fun of people, or I stopped, you know, you become a lot more empathetic for others and so forth. So, you know, open up that space so you're not being a little shithead anymore. Because there's a lot of people out here that really do, you know, they really do, they're really nasty when it comes to how they use their words to people. And they're not in their heart space. Because if they were, they would understand how much damage they're actually doing. Because everything is very delicate out here. When you get to the higher realms and you look back here, right now we're kind of moving on 3D time, so it's a little slower, you know. But even though time does feel like it's speeding up now, like manifestation is happening faster, you know. But you don't, from our 3D perspective, we don't really see the ripples of the butterfly effect, right? We don't really see the ripples of how damaging the stuff is. We just get it off to somebody and then we just keep carrying on with our day. And then they got to carry that and give it off to somebody. They give it off to somebody, when it can be positive waves like that too. But it's all very delicate. We have to choose our words very carefully. You know, every moment we don't get back. So take your time. Take your time. Love it all. All right. So now we're getting to the divine. We're going to kind of move through this pretty quickly. We're making decent time. So the throat chakra, all of these videos that I've shared with y'all, all this stuff that you've been able to downloads that you've been able to receive is all due to our throat chakra, right? It allows us to give that detailed information. It allows us to go and understand more, you know? It's the intellectual side of things, right? It's the higher understanding of everything that's going on and putting it all together and, you know, coming to new conclusions and sharing those things. And sharing your knowledge is one of the most beautiful things you can ever do in the universe, you know? I love that throat chakra. I love that the throat chakra videos actually getting a good amount of views, and I think people like to hear about their throat chakra or want to open up their throat chakra more. So remember, your voice is so loud. At any moment, you hear dogs barking all the time. But we keep it so quiet all the time, you know? And it's cool, we don't have to yell all the time, but you gotta balance it out. Sometimes you gotta get out there and, you know? Y'all seen the video, y'all seen the shorts, but this is just a recap. But yeah, open up your throat chakra. Don't let the world silence you and shut you up, you know? You have a voice, we all have a beautiful voice. We all have a beautiful voice, so, you know, get in tune with being able to listen too, not just to talk, but to listen. To understand, to grow. That way you can expand and share more with your throat chakra and use your throat chakra for greater things rather than tearing people down and causing destruction, you know? You can actually heal with this, you know? You can definitely tune others. You can tune others, you know? You can tune yourself with this. So, it's a divine gift that we have, and it's very much used in a lot of negative ways to lie and to manipulate people, and people really take that power for granted. So balance out your throat chakra. Watch your words. They're very powerful. Watch your words. Be mindful of your words and use them for positivity, you know? Start to kind of change your vocabulary. Clean it up a little bit, you know? Try to be mindful of what you're putting out there. Okay, so third eye. And in my opinion, balancing out your throat chakra has to do with speaking truth. And it's blocked by lies, you know, and being kind of nasty. Your third eye chakra, we talked about that. That's being able to see the unseen. That's being able to tap into the divine feminine. Being able to understand the notions of things and feel how your mind communicates to you in ways that you can't receive with your senses. And understanding that and strengthening that up will allow you to see more of the in-between. As you're looking out, as you see how things move, you'll kind of pick up on the intentions of things. You'll be able to pick up on those things more. You'll be able to kind of feel that empathy. You'll be able to put yourself in somebody's shoes a little quicker because you'll be able to visualize yourself as them a little faster, you know? Using your third eye is very important, or being able to navigate your emotions and, you know, navigate other people's emotions too, you know? Just having a heightened awareness, you know, not looking at things so much as good and bad, but just looking at the light and the dark, you know, at the same time. And being able to see in the dark and not being afraid of the dark, you know, tapping into that night side of yourself, you know, like I mentioned before, the stars in the sky compared to this sky right here. You don't see the stars, but the stars are ever present. However, we don't see them at the day, you know, during the daytime. So there's a whole aspect of us that can tap into that realm and is always tapped into that realm. And I believe at night, it's a little easier for us to tune into that realm because, you know, we are, you know, it's the frequencies. But, balancing that chakra out is really just kind of getting past the fear, you know, getting out of fear, getting yourself out of a state where you're using your mind in fear or, you know, letting, you know, negative thoughts take over your mind, you know, because a lot of us will think that negative thoughts are coming from elsewhere, but it's really us we're the ones tormenting ourselves. And you have to take that responsibility and take control of your thoughts. Because if not, it'll always be something that's taken over your mind. So you have to understand your fears and get over your fears, conquering your fears in the third eye. And your fears are literally just you. You're playing with yourself because you know you don't die, really. So you like to throw stuff. We like to make ourselves scared, you know, unconsciously, because it's the most like real life. It's the most alive that we can feel sometimes, compared to what we normally get in life. Last thing, the crown chakra. Crown chakra is like, yo, it's the finish line. It's like, yo, we made it. It's like, we here, we did it. Like, this is, it's the crown chakra is the aspect of life that is the greater good, you know? Like why things work out, why tends to things work out. It's the happily ever after, you know? It's the truth that we're all grounded to, that this is literally made in such a beautiful way. Like this, all of this is so beautiful. And if the people that pass could come back down from you know, passing over, they would literally tell us how much more we should be enjoying this, you know, how much more we should be enjoying this while it's here and while we have it. But you know, it would be kind of ruining the secret a little bit. So, you know, we got people like me coming down and no, but for real, the crown chakra is the secret, right? It's the answer. It's like, yo, heaven, you know, it's literally like heaven. It is what allows you to experience heaven, what allows you to understand what bliss is, what connects you to, you know, eternity, and not like, you know, not like misery, and not like, you know, it's the truth. It's connecting you to the truth. And the truth is we win, y'all. We are divine. Like we are it. This is us. We are experiencing the coolest thing. Like this, you know, God did type energy, you know, like it, and he saw that it was good, you know. That's the crown chakra, you know, because it is good. It's just us, you know, trying to figure it out again. But that's a part of the fun. Because if you build something that's already works and it's already good, you know, you got to have fun too. Like if you look at the human world and everything, and yeah, we are part of the divine. We are an extension of the divine. But look at us though. We're so funny and we're so like cool, and we have so many different worlds and so many different things and so many different funny movies like Shaolin Soccer and freaking everything from Jackie Chan to freaking Bruce Lee to Wesley Snipes to late night talk shows to the basketball games to like literally we live in a world that's very fun and entertaining, and we like to have fun, you know. We like to play games, you know. So there's an aspect of the world that is meant to enjoy yourself, right? You're supposed to enjoy yourself at the end of the day. It is the truth, but it's not always what we need to do right now. We have 6, 7 whole chakras, but it is the finish line. It is what we get to at the end, you know. So like they said, it's about the journey and not the destination. Because if you already know that it's all good and you come here again and you're like, oh, well, what's the point? What's the point of playing a game? What's the point of like leveling up and stuff, you know? If you already like, you know, could just start the game off at like level 100. So enjoy the process, y'all. These are the chakras. Just a small recap, just to kind of go over everything. But yeah, having that faith and understanding that life, you know, life is one side of it. Death is another side of it. But death doesn't necessarily mean that it's the lack of existing. It's just the other side of the coin, which keeps this whole thing going. But maybe I'll stop using death, but as a term. But anyways, we got the light and the shadow. I'll say that. But they both work together for good. For good. All right. Anyways, I'm done. Love y'all, whoever you are, wherever you are, however you are, whenever you are. Thank you for watching these videos. We got so much more on the way. Take care. See you soon.